I want to ask you about this location. I thought it was blocks and blocks away from David's house. It isn't.
No, I'd say it's probably 150 feet to Doheny Place, which he's on, from the rear of, from the trunk of that vehicle, because he's the first spot. They're parked on the first spot there. It's very close.
David's name is lighting up the headlines again. Fresh footage just surfaced, showing what looks like the same Tesla everyone's been whispering about, the one linked to the mysterious disappearance of Celeste Rivas. And this whole story just keeps getting stranger by the day. When officers checked that Tesla, they found something that stopped everyone in their tracks. Celeste, a teen who had gone missing not once, not twice, but over 4 times before. Each time she'd been found and somehow slipped off the radar again, leaving people wondering what was really going on behind the scenes. Now, here's the twist that shook fans. David's Tesla had actually been sitting parked for a while before it got flagged by parking enforcement. Complaints came in about a dusty car just sitting there in the Hollywood Hills, so it got ticketed and eventually towed. It was only later, when tow yard staff did a deeper inspection, that they made the shocking discovery in the front compartment. Investigators believe Celeste may have been there for weeks, but official tests are still pending, and the medical examiner hasn't confirmed any details yet. What's even more confusing is that David's team insists he's fully cooperating with authorities and that no one has been officially named in connection with what happened. But then TMZ dropped a curveball. Brand new surveillance from a neighborhood liquor store captured back in March 2024. The clip shows Celeste walking away from her house, wearing a hoodie and moving with a calm, steady pace before she jogs out of frame. Here's the chilling part that's got everyone talking. Celeste didn't just go missing once. She disappeared several times throughout 2024, leaving friends and family in a constant state of panic. According to reports from the Riverside County Sheriff's Office, she had vanished at least 3 to 4 different times, each time eventually turning back up after days or weeks of confusion. It became a heartbreaking cycle. She'd come home, things would calm down for a bit, and then suddenly she'd be gone again. But the last time, in April 2024, she never came back. And that's when the worry turned into full-blown mystery. Months later, a Tesla just sitting there on a quiet Hollywood street started catching attention. Neighbors complained about it collecting dust, so parking enforcement ticketed it and eventually had it towed away. Once it hit the tow yard, workers noticed something unusual, a strong smell and strange marks around the car's front section. When they checked it further, they discovered Celeste inside. That moment changed everything, and suddenly, the smallest details, like those parking stickers, ticket dates, and tow time stamps, became crucial clues. Investigators believe those details might help map exactly when the car stopped moving and when things took a dark turn, though the timeline still has huge gaps that nobody can explain yet. Even with that liquor store clip showing Celeste walking away months earlier, one massive question still hangs in the air. How did she end up in that Tesla? If she was last seen in March, who had the car in the months that followed? It all started back in February 2024, right around Valentine's Day, the first time Celeste was officially reported missing. At first, authorities treated it like another runaway situation since she had disappeared before. Within just a few days, she returned home on her own, leaving her family shaken but thankful. Still, the sense of calm didn't last. Just a few weeks later, in March, Celeste vanished all over again. And this time things felt different, way different. Surveillance cameras near a small park and a corner liquor store captured her last known movements. The footage was grainy but eerie to watch. Hoodie pulled tight, head down, and that quick, almost nervous walk down the street before she turned a corner and faded from sight. That tiny piece of footage would later become the final confirmed sighting of Celeste, the last moment anyone saw her on her own. It sent shivers through the community because it felt like watching someone quietly step into a mystery no one could solve. By April 5th, 2024, the cycle repeated yet again. Another missing persons report, this time filed from Lake Elsinore. But unlike before, Celeste didn't come home. Her family and friends flooded social media with desperate posts, searching for leads, tagging news outlets, and begging for help. As weeks turned into months with no progress, the posts slowed down and the buzz faded, like the internet just moved on. On August 27th, 2025, up in the quiet streets of the Hollywood Hills, a Tesla parked curbside got hit with a ticket for overstaying its welcome. Neighbors had been side-eyeing it for weeks, dusty, untouched, just sitting there like it had been forgotten. Nobody really thought much of it until September 5th, when parking enforcement finally had it towed to a storage yard. Then, only 3 days later, on September 8th, tow yard workers opened the car's front compartment and made a heartbreaking discovery. The missing teen, Celeste Rivas, was inside. That moment changed the whole direction of the case. What makes this story even more surreal is how normal everything seemed from the outside. That Tesla looked like any other vehicle collecting dust on a hillside street, blending right into the neighborhood. When parking enforcement tagged it with a ticket, no one had any idea what secrets were hidden inside. It's haunting to think that people probably walked past that car dozens of times without realizing how deep the mystery really went. And here's where things get even more complicated. Teslas aren't just cars, they're data machines. They record everything. Dash cam footage, cabin views, routes, even tiny location changes. Investigators believe those systems could hold the missing digital breadcrumbs that show exactly where the car went, who was inside, and when it stopped moving. So far, authorities haven't released any of that data publicly, but experts say it could be the key that finally connects all the dots. Inside the vehicle, forensic experts found traces and conditions that made the investigation tough to move forward. The environment inside the compartment had made it difficult for examiners to determine exactly what happened or when. Toxicology tests were ordered, and the official report was deferred pending results. No matter what's floating around online right now, a lot of people still have their eyes on David. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. The Tesla where Celeste was found was officially registered in his name. For fans, that connection was shocking and hard to process. Here's an artist who rose to fame off his viral hit Romantic Homicide, performing worldwide, pulling millions of streams, and building a loyal fan base, suddenly linked to one of the most unsettling stories Los Angeles has seen in years. The internet didn't waste a second before theories started spreading like wildfire. But here's what's actually confirmed. David hasn't been listed as a suspect, and police have stated that he's been cooperating fully with investigators since the beginning. There haven't been any arrests or formal accusations. Still, just being tied to a case this mysterious has sent shockwaves through his career. The Tesla in question wasn't some random rental or label vehicle either. It was personally his, and that fact alone makes people question how it could have been sitting out there unnoticed for so long. The idea that it sat parked, got ticketed, and was later towed, all while linked to him, only added more layers of confusion. How could a car connected to such a high-profile artist slip through the cracks without anyone noticing? And how did Celeste's story intersect with his in such a tragic way? Behind the viral headlines and gossip threads, David's reputation is hanging in a delicate balance. Fans who once filled his comment section with heart emojis and song requests are now asking tough questions, desperate for clarity. Some people defend him fiercely, reminding others that no charges have been filed and that speculation can ruin lives. But others think the whole situation feels too strange to ignore. Imagine being at the top of your game, touring, charting, living your dream, and suddenly finding out your own car is now the center of a full-blown police investigation. That's exactly the storm David is facing right now. And it's a nightmare scenario by any measure. Whether he had zero clue or some quiet suspicion before the news broke, one thing's for sure. His name is now forever tied to a case filled with way more questions than answers. The tension is wild, and the internet won't let it breathe for even a second. David is stuck between two worlds, the fast-moving chaos of the music industry and the slow, methodical pace of a police investigation. He's trying to keep his career steady, while reporters, fans, and detectives all watch his every move. The car itself might hold the real clues through forensic evidence or data logs, but online, people aren't waiting for facts. They're already playing detective. The big question echoing across every thread and TikTok comment is, what does David actually know? Some fans believe he's completely innocent and caught in the middle of something bigger, while others are convinced he knows more than he's saying. And as usual, when a story like this hits social media, theories come flying in fast. Some are straight up wild, others sound almost believable, but all of them thrive on the empty spaces in the story. Right now, three main ideas are dominating online discussions. The first is what people call the relationship theory. that Celeste and David might have had some kind of hidden connection or friendship. There are rumors about old IG stories and grainy screenshots floating around, but nothing solid. No confirmed DMS or posts linking them directly. Then there's the second idea, that Celeste didn't just disappear by accident, but that someone intentionally put her in that Tesla afterward to keep the truth buried. That theory definitely adds to the haunting image everyone's been talking about, the discovery inside the Tesla that shocked Los Angeles. But here's the thing, no official evidence has been released to back any of it up yet. Investigators haven't shared details about what was actually found inside or whether there were any signs of restraint. So for now, it's all speculation. People love to fill in the blanks, but the truth is still hidden behind closed doors, waiting for lab results and digital data to tell the real story. Then there's the timeline lag theory, which has been gaining serious traction online. This idea suggests that Celeste might not have been in that Tesla the entire time she was missing. Instead, she could have been alive for months after her last sighting in April 2024, only ending up inside the vehicle much later, closer to when it was abandoned in 2025. It's a theory that tries to make sense of why the car wasn't flagged sooner and how it slipped past everyone's attention for so long, but it also opens up even more questions like, where was Celeste during that missing year, and who had access to the car during that stretch of time? And of course, there's the whisper that keeps circling around social media. Could David himself really be involved? His supporters say absolutely not. They point out he's always been more of a creative soul than a street-type guy, pouring his emotions into music, not trouble. His songs talk about heartbreak, loneliness, and youth, not harm. Plus, he's cooperating with police, which doesn't fit the profile of someone hiding anything. But skeptics online keep pushing back, saying that fame doesn't clear anyone of suspicion. They argue that if the car was in his name, he must have known something, even if he didn't realize how serious it was. Until investigators finally connect all the missing dots, everything the public says remains pure speculation, just whispers in the dark. But that doesn't make life any easier for David. If anything, things have gotten harder than ever. While police keep combing through evidence and timelines, he's facing a whole different kind of storm. The kind that only fame and social media can create. Every scroll, every post, every clip has turned into a public trial, and it's exhausting to watch unfold in real time. A year ago, David's career was flying high. Tours, festivals, hit records, fans chanting his name worldwide. Now reports claim several of his shows have been quietly canceled, with some venues backing out until the situation gets cleared up. Even his landlord has allegedly moved to cut ties, trying to avoid the endless cameras and gossip tied to his name. It's like the entire world pressed pause on his momentum while waiting for official answers that still haven't come. Meanwhile, his music is still streaming strong, but the energy around it has changed. Comment sections are filled with fans torn down the middle, half defending him fiercely, half saying they can't separate the artist from the headlines. Some listeners say they'll still ride for him until the facts are out, while others are hitting unfollow, claiming the Tesla story feels too heavy to ignore. Every lyric, especially from songs like Romantic Homicide, is being reinterpreted as if his art suddenly turned into clues. This is the dark side of fame. It doesn't take charges or guilt to wreck a reputation. Just being connected to something mysterious can shift how the world sees you overnight. And in music, where momentum is everything, even a single pause can crush a wave. For an artist who just cracked the mainstream spotlight, this whole situation isn't just a legal mess. It's a full-on image crisis. Everything about it feels like it's moving in slow motion, with every new detail making the mystery thicker instead of clearer. What's confirmed so far is simple but heavy. On September 8th, Celeste was found inside the front compartment of a Tesla registered to David. The vehicle had been towed to an impound lot after sitting parked and ticketed for days. At first, the authorities didn't even know who she was. She was listed as Jane Doe, until the coroner finally identified her as Celeste, the same teen who'd gone missing multiple times the year before. That confirmation set off a chain reaction. Since then, investigators have been treating the situation as a major case. Detectives quickly obtained a search warrant for a Hollywood Hills property that David had been staying in, a house reportedly rented under his manager's name. When they arrived, the search wasn't light. Officials walked out carrying electronic devices, hard drives, and boxes of materials for analysis. They even collected surveillance footage from the house to check for any possible activity linked to the Tesla's timeline. But it didn't stop there. Forensic teams went all in. They reportedly used luminol testing across multiple rooms to scan for hidden traces of fluids, checked drains for any signs of cleanup, and collected hair and fingerprints for lab comparison. So far, no official findings have been made public, but just the image of investigators combing through the house has kept the public on edge. If investigators uncover anything that directly links Celeste to that Hollywood Hills property, it could completely change the direction of this entire case. Right now, though, things are at a frustrating standstill. The medical examiner has already said that the condition of Celeste's body made it nearly impossible to determine what exactly happened right away. Toxicology tests and advanced lab work are still underway, but until those results come in, the official cause and manner of her passing remain deferred. That's why the whole investigation feels like it's frozen in time. Everyone's waiting for answers that haven't been released yet. Behind the scenes, authorities probably know a lot more than they're letting on, but they're keeping it tight. Still, that silence hasn't stopped the rumor mill from running wild. People from Los Angeles' nightlife circles have come forward saying they saw David and Celeste together in public, assuming they were dating. Some even claimed they thought she was older, possibly in college, because of how mature she acted. That theory ties in with earlier reports that Celeste had used fake IDs to make herself seem older in certain spaces, which could explain a lot about how their connection might have gone unnoticed at first. Adding to that, Celeste's own mother reportedly confirmed that her daughter had a boyfriend named David, though investigators haven't verified how deep that relationship really went. And then there's the car, the detail that started everything. Neighbors in the Hollywood Hills told reporters that the Tesla had been parked in the same spot for weeks, untouched and gathering dust. Complaints about the vehicle started rolling in around August 26th, right before it got ticketed and towed. It all came down to a quiet street, a parked Tesla, and a string of dates that now carry massive weight. The car was first inspected on August 27th, ticketed on September 3rd, and finally towed away on the 5th. But the strange part, the odor that led to the discovery wasn't even noticed until it reached the tow yard, which makes everyone wonder how long had Celeste actually been inside that car? And more importantly, how did no one spot the signs earlier when it was sitting right there in the open for days? Right now, the case is standing at a crossroads. Investigators have a searched home, confiscated devices, party witnesses giving statements, and a Tesla that could hold key digital clues, yet still no charges, no arrests, and no clear story of what truly happened to Celeste. What we have is a mix of chilling facts tangled with major blanks in the timeline. What's next depends on what those labs reveal. Tesla's onboard logs, phone pings, and security footage could finally piece this puzzle together. Until that happens, everyone's just waiting, watching, and filling the silence with theories that may or may not hold water. The truth is, this story's pattern of repeated disappearances only makes things more confusing. Was Celeste's final chapter a tragic accident tied to another runaway gone wrong? Or does the Tesla's haunting timeline suggest something far more complicated? Investigators haven't confirmed anything yet. They're staying tight-lipped while the case remains open. David, for his part, is still said to be cooperating fully, maintaining his distance from the online chaos while the world keeps speculating. So for now, all that's left is this: a teenage girl who kept vanishing, a car that sat unnoticed in plain sight, and a discovery that's left more questions than answers. The mystery still hangs heavy, and until the evidence speaks, nobody really knows the truth. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and see what's going down in our hood next.